And then people said, will robots take over our jobs? And now we are talking about, will AI take over our jobs? Not everybody can become a data scientist or a data analyst because it has something to do with the aptitude. It's not about IT or non-IT. So what is the difference between an IT guy and a non-IT person? It is not enough just to have a certificate in data science or data analytics right now, because there are 1,000 other people competing with you. Obviously, the companies are also competing for best talent. You actually are a good candidate. Compensation is still very, very high.
Hello data lovers and welcome back. First of all, belated Happy New Year. I hope you had a great time. You enjoyed the end of 2022 and you had a really great start of 2023 as well. I know I didn't create much videos in last 3 weeks because I was also enjoying that time with my family and friends. And I'm hoping same for you. You had a great time with your family and loved ones. And finally, I'm back with my regular content creation. And this is the first podcast of 2023. So please make sure to show your love and support in 2023 as you did in 2022. And this podcast is especially for all the aspiring data professionals who want to kickstart their data journey in 2023 and want to crack high-paying jobs in data domain. So our expert will talk about how things will change in 2023 in data domain, the job opportunities, the average salaries, what will be the appropriate path for someone to move into the data domain, especially for the non-tech and non-CS people, how you can grab maximum number of job opportunities, how you can decide which job profile is the best fit for you, and the most controversial question as well, AI will take over our jobs or not. So watch it till the very end and like it in the big numbers so that it can reach to all aspiring data professionals. And also in 2023, that too in January month, I want to start my Hindi channel as well, and that will be a complete fun channel. Full fun entertainment related to tech world will be there. So I want to start it as soon as possible, and as soon as 200 comments related to yes for Hindi channel will be completed on this video, I will instantly launch the channel. So I'm waiting for your comments. Okay, so welcome back Shruti, and first of all, belated Happy New Year, and I'm really glad to see you again on my channel. Last time we discussed a lot of things about the data science, and that was in 2022, and it's a fresh start in 2023. Lots of things I know, Shruti, you would like to share with our audience, but it would be really great. You can give a short introduction to the audience who is watching you for the very first time.
Firstly, thank you for the New Year wishes, and a very happy New Year to you and all the viewers and subscribers of your channel. 2022 has been a great year. We'll talk about 2023 as well. I'm Shruti. I'm the Director of Corporate Relations and Placements at Odin School. So we have been doing a lot of work on, connecting with companies, trying to understand where jobs are in the data sciences domain. When I say data sciences, I mean data analytics, data visualization, machine learning, and all the related job roles under data science. So that is what I do, and really happy to share all this information with aspiring data scientists and data analysts here.
As most of us know that data science industry kept booming in 2022 despite of several ups and downs in tech industry, right? We saw the layoffs and few disheartening things which happened, and everybody is aware about that one. So what we can expect in terms of opportunities for aspiring data professionals in 2023, and that is with respect to number of jobs, career transition, salary packages and growths, because you are really close to this like market, direct connections, indirect connections. So what's your take on that?
Great. So Shashank, I'll answer that question with another question, right? Between 2022 and 2023, has there been a reduction in the data that has been generated by users, or has there been an increase?
Obviously
increase, right? So that is one trend that is definitely not going to reduce. And as long as data is being generated, in fact, the ways in which data is being generated, right, the different channels through which data is being generated has also increased. So not only has the quantity of data increased, but also, the diversity in data has increased. So obviously this is a very, very evolving field, very dynamic field. And as long as businesses want to take data-driven decisions, there are always going to be jobs for people in the data domain. Yes, there will be economic up and downs, there might be political up and downs, but one thing that is not going to change is the fact that data is here to stay. So jobs are definitely there. probably the last quarter of last year, probably November, December, as usual, because of the holiday season and different factors across the globe, is usually a bit low on the job front. But January has started off on a great note for us already. Even at Odin School, we are planning multiple drives in the coming quarter just to accommodate all the requirements that we are getting from the industry. So it's definitely extremely encouraging, across different segments, from analytics to data science positions. The jobs are definite. This year is definitely looking better. Also because of these economics ups and downs, right? Businesses don't want to take a lot of risk by taking wrong decisions and predicting their consumer behavior in a wrong way. They want to take appropriate decisions so that they can allot resources also in the right way. So that calls for data science, that calls for data analytics. So jobs are definitely going to be there. Competition might be more though, but jobs will definitely be there.
So Shruti, one of the important point which I want to discuss, and this has happened I think with most of us, like choosing the right job profile is the most difficult part for someone. Let's say if somebody is just starting his or her career, or let's say taking a transition or moving into different job profile, and this decision becomes very difficult when we talk about the data related job profiles, because multiple segments, and that is why so much confusion is there as well. Okay, so what is the ideal way to decide which data profile would work best for someone in 2023? Because not everyone can become a best data scientist or analyst or data engineer, because each job profile has different level of skill sets, capabilities and responsibilities to deliver.
Good question, and you in fact answered the question in the question itself. Because like you said, not everybody can become a data scientist or a data analyst, because it has something to do with the aptitude that person has, the kind of mindset the person has. So let us look at it from a different point of view, right? It is not about what is prevalent in the industry right now, because like I said, jobs are there. Probably what you should do, what the viewers should do, aspiring data science professionals, is to do a little bit of introspection and find what are their skill sets more aligned to, right? Now, it's not about IT or non-IT. So what is the difference between an IT guy and a non-IT person, right? It's only that the IT professionals have probably 4 or 6 years of a head start over the others. Like we were not born coders, right? We learned coding through at some point of time in our life. Just as some people started sooner, some people are starting probably now. So even coding is not something that cannot be done, right? If you have that, it's basically mathematics. It's basically a little bit of logical and reasoning aptitude, the way your mind thinks. So if you have an aptitude for maths and a little bit of programming, then it can be learned. That's a skill that can be acquired. But what people need to know when they try to decide which path to choose is their own aptitude, because jobs are available right from data analyst to data engineer to data visualization. Jobs are available everywhere, right? So just because jobs are slightly more in a certain domain, it is not right for a person who doesn't have that aptitude to go in that direction. Exactly. Right? For example, I might be somebody who has more of a logical and a kind of artistic bent of mind. So just because there are more jobs in data engineering, if I try to force myself into that profile, I'll end up being a mediocre data engineer, right? I would rather go into data visualization and come up with the best looking dashboards on Power BI or Tableau, right? That will power my career so much better. That will put me on that growth path, 10 times faster. I'll probably grow in that line. So people have to understand what each of these job roles means, rather than just looking at how many opportunities are available in each of them. Because see, a data scientist cannot exist without a data analyst or a data engineer. These are all part of the pipeline, right? You can't have just one role and get rid of the others. It doesn't work that way. So they have to think. So if you might not be from a coding background, but you might have an aptitude for coding. Right? Or you might not have an aptitude for coding, in which case you should probably not do the job roles that are very hard, very heavy on coding. The good thing is data science gives you this diversity. So instead of looking at it as something that confuses people, probably we should look at it as something that has space for everybody, right? Whether you're a coder or a non-coder or IT or non-IT, everybody has a space in this area, and that space is something that people have to match with their own personal aptitude and their own skill sets. I think that is how the matching has to be done, because the industry is open. I think we should look at it in that way. That will kind of give us a lot more clarity.
Yeah, that's true. And this is exactly what I wanted to listen, and same message I wanted the audience to listen carefully, that the forceful transition, or if you always try to look at the rosy picture, let's say number of job opportunities are very high in data science, compensation is really good. If you are just considering those factors, maybe you will not enjoy, or you will just end up being the mediocre, which you pointed out. So that's the correct message. And as I talked about the confusion, so let's say as aspiring data professional, you still have some doubt related to these job profiles, feel free to put it in the comment section. I will definitely try to clarify all those doubts so that you can take a good start of the 2023.
Another point I'd like to add here, Shashank, see, compared to say 2020 or 2021, right now there is a lot more clarity on each of these job roles.
Yep.
Right now we are in a situation where we can better define these roles. We can kind of very clearly distinguish between what a data analyst does when compared to what a data scientist does. 2-3 years back, it was still an extremely nascent stage. There was not so much clarity. Now even the internet has so much information about each of these job roles. So it's kind of little more, it gives scope for people to take a more informed decision. Again, I would go back to the same thing, matching to their skills, but there's definitely more information, clarity on each of these job roles now. So the confusion factor has actually come down over the last 1 year or so.
Let's say for someone who has explored data science or any data related job profile for the very first time in the end of the 2022, mostly those will be fresh grads or folks who are in their colleges. So what would be the most appropriate path for aspiring data scientists to kickstart their journey in 2023?
Right. Another very pertinent question. See, one thing we have to understand, that compared to 2022 or 2019, the talent available in data analytics is much more now. Right? At least in the last 1 or 2 years, a lot of people have started upskilling themselves in these areas. 2018 had a very serious demand-supply gap. Lots of jobs available, but very few people who are actually skilled in those areas. In the last 2-3 years, that supply has increased multifold. Right? Nowadays, we see even colleges offering a 3-year degree or a 4-year BTech in data sciences and artificial intelligence. So the supply has definitely increased. Now, increase in supply does not mean there's an increase in quality supply, right? So there is always a scope. Now what people have to focus here is, it is not enough just to have a certificate in data science or data analytics right now, because there are 1,000 other people competing with you. The competition has increased. So what aspiring people, if they want to kickstart their career and get onto that high growth path, is how do they showcase what they have learned? Right? Is it just a theoretical program you have done? Because that does not have a lot of value in the market, especially with companies. So what is the actual application part that you have? What are the different projects that they have worked on? The more projects they do, the better equipped they will be to, kickstart their career. Right? Even companies, since they have more supply now, their hiring criteria also has tightened a little bit, right? Because out of 2 years back, they had 15 people, out of which they had to choose 10. Now for the same 10, they have 50. So that calls for people to prepare themselves in a very structured manner, especially people who are from non-IT and all that. That is one of the areas that players like us come in. Right? What is the difference between Odin School and something that is available on YouTube? It is that kind of structuring that we get into the program, because we understand what are the kind of changes that are happening. How do you actually distinguish yourself from the 49 other people who are competing for the same job? right? So we help people build their project portfolios. We encourage people to work on multiple different projects. So all these are, it's really, really important for somebody to kickstart their career now. I would actually encourage them. Kaggle is a great place, right? There are so many in every domain. There's so many data sets available. So go and project it. You must have seen architects and graphic designers. They don't go to an interview with a single page resume, right? They go to an interview with a proper booklet of all the work they have done. So why can't data science people in this domain also do similar thing? Especially if you're from a non-IT background, you need to give that extra. You need to show what you have done. So, and data science, data visualization, it's all about storytelling. Right? It's not just about writing code, right? It's about storytelling. So if you can create portfolios for yourself, if you can, it's all about how you package and market yourself ultimately when you're looking for a job, right? So that has kind of become, everybody should have a profile on GitHub and these kind of things where the work is visible. A certificate is not going to cut it. Especially now, and I see that trend continuing through the next 2-3 years also, because the supply is only going to keep increasing now. There is so much awareness about opportunities in data science. Everybody wants to do it. So obviously numbers are going to increase. So you got to figure out how to distinguish myself. So that will actually help them kickstart their career. It is not just completing a program and getting certified.
As a fresher, I can remember these mistakes where I was just okay, learn this, learn that, but didn't even know where to put all my work and how to showcase it properly. And that is actually a key factor when it comes to grab a good job opportunities.
Right.
So
also very importantly, when you go for the interview, right, you should be in a very strong position to talk about your project. But one of the first important question that any company will ask you is, what is a project that you have done? What is the hands-on experience you have? Can you talk about it? Yes. So you got to practice all that. So I know I keep repeating this, but in Odin School we have special sessions on project presentations. And every student kind of presents it in front of a panel, and we kind of give feedback, and all this happens because we understand what the industry actually needs. So it has to be an inherent part of preparing for a data science job. It is not just about learning how to code and write a program in Python.
This is my personal thought. Most of the people think that data jobs are highly paid nowadays. So everybody is dreaming about, and that's fact, right? We should dream about it. Until unless we are not dreaming big, how would we be able to achieve it? So when it comes to 20 lakh of package, 30 lakh of package, so how this is going to happen in 2023? Because we have seen the average salary has also been increasing. Companies are also trying to revise it. They are trying to give competitive salary so that the employees are not feeling underpaid. But how to actually achieve it in this is 2023.
See, Chirag, one thing, we've been working, with more than 500 companies now. One change that we have seen is competition is not just on the student side, competition is also on the company's side, yes. Right? Because now with more and more companies jumping onto the data bandwagon, everybody wants to do analytics. Obviously, the companies are also competing for best talent, right? So if you can actually establish yourself as somebody who knows your stuff, you actually are a good candidate, compensation is still very, very high, right? Even in cases of complete transition, like even here we have seen people, we ourselves were surprised sometimes to see, people getting 250% salary hike and 300% salary hike. So we kept questioning that what is it that is distinguishing these people? Why is everybody not getting so much? Why only certain people getting that much? It is very clearly about the value that you show to the company. See, for a company, any resource is an investment. Right? If a company is investing 30 lakhs into a person through a year, which is not a small amount, they would expect that investment to give them those kind of returns, right? So any person has to show what they're worth. So it is not that, like you said, average salaries are continuously going up. The increase in supply has not reduced the average packages. the only thing is, because the companies have more talent to choose from, they are more selective, and if they find the right talent, they pay whatever it takes. In fact, very interestingly, we have had one situation. One of our students, the company was so impressed with them, not for the role that they were interviewing him for, but in general with his sense of data and his technical competency. So they actually created a kind of new designation for him, because they didn't want to lose that talent, and still took him at a 150 or 170% salary hike. So that is the value that talent has in the market today. So if you can establish that you come with those kind of analytical skills and that logic and reasoning, and the technical fundamentals to deliver on the job, then companies will not mind paying you high. So the 20 lakh 30 lakhs jobs that you're talking about, very much possible in the industry. We have seen those transition happening. Only thing is, you have to show your value there.
I think I raised this point earlier as well. Majority of people find data jobs attractive because of compensation, and this probably second, third question we discussed this one, forceful transition, just because of the rosy picture of the data profile. So my question is it still true in this fast moving tech world, like the way technologies are getting changed? So it's still right, people should make this sort of perception about the data jobs, that beautiful salary, and this should be the only reason to move into data jobs?
Well, so like I said previously also, it is rosy for people who fit into that role, right? If you are a good talent, it is definitely a rosy field for you. The good thing about data science is there is space for everybody, like I said previously also. So again, compensation should not be the only criteria why you get into this field, because compensation does not come automatically. Compensation comes when you deliver the work, right? You might be able to crack that job, you might be able to impress the interviewers and crack that job, but that is just the entry into the gate, right? After that, you have to build a career on that. So you actually have to deliver at work. You need to have that aptitude, you need to have that attention to detail, that analytical mindset, that those kind of skills that a data analyst requires. Just getting an offer letter, people think the moment I get an offer letter, my life is done. No, it is not done. Little bit of economic ups and downs, and probably they'll be the first people on the bench. Right. Who knows, right? So it is not just about getting that job. So that is why through the learning period, you do a 2 weeks course or a 3 weeks course and expect a great job and a great offer. You might be able to get it, but will it actually sustain it? Will it actually sustain you? So all these were the thoughts that went into developing a 6-month boot camp as Odin School. We said people have to put in that rigor. Unless you put yourself through the 6-month rigor and learn the technologies, you might get a job, but you might not grow in that job later. And when I say 6 months, it includes so many things, right? Hand-holding, project, that individual attention that we give our students. So all this is a part of it. So compensation is definitely a motivating factor, especially if you're transitioning the career. But then that should not be the only criteria. But having said that, I would also say that growth opportunities are amazing in this. People have to be continuously learning, right? Because it's an evolving field. They have to continuously keep upgrading themselves. So it is a great field to be in. But then you actually also have to have a love for that subject and that kind of mindset. Just jumping because compensation is great might not be the best factor for such a big decision. It's not a small decision, right, for most people.
So in 2023, what would be the possible, or you can say predicted, average salary for the data related job profiles? In 2020, 2022, you can say we have seen that average lying between, let's say, 5 to 6 at max, average I'm talking about. But now, based on the prediction in terms of the job numbers and the demand and supply sort of factors, how this is going to be projected in 2023?
See, for freshers, I would still say that the median or the average, I think median is a better way of looking at it, would still be somewhere between 6 and 7.5.
Okay.
Right? But then after that, the salaries will increase faster. So that is what we've been hearing from the industry partners also. It has not drastically gone up because also the supply side has increased. Right, so because there are more options, although it has gone up from 5 to say around 6 to 7.5, that would be the average for freshers. So for experienced people, especially the ones who come with strong domain experience, right, it's difficult to predict the salaries there, because again it depends on what kind of experience they're coming from, what domain they're coming from and all that. But again, like I said, salary is really not a constraint for people. Experienced people are definitely getting anywhere between for somebody with 3 years of experience or something, 12 to 15 lakhs is something that we have been seeing. It can range from 8 lakhs to 20 lakhs or something, but for people who have 5 years of experience and above, definitely 20 lakhs and above is a possibility.
Getting a job in the data field has also become very challenging, because we have been talking about it, the sort of competition in the market, right? Be it the companies seeking for the talents, or the candidates trying to get good job opportunities. So there is so much competition. So in 2023, how can someone make its profile stand out during job hunt and increase their chances of getting hired with higher salary packages? And here I will put special people in the frame, folks who are coming from the non-CS and non-IT kind of backgrounds.
Since you've put them in a special place, they also need to do something special, right? So like I said, Shashank, it's all about projecting what you know, right? A lot of practice. See, there are a few things. First thing is, you have to pick up technologies that are highly relevant in the market right now. The market is also changing very dynamically. Last year, I mean 2021, that is time, we saw a lot of companies doing a lot of work on Tableau, for example, just giving an example. Now we are getting a lot of demand on Power BI. So both these are visualization tools, right? Just in the last 8 to 10 months, we have seen a drastic shift. So if you're not updating yourself with what the industry is currently looking at, then although you have a data analytics certificate in your hand, it becomes difficult, because those skills might not have those many opportunities, right? So Odin School, we do the work on behalf of the students. So we talk to the industries and we figure out what the latest technologies are, and we ensure that our students learn that. So that is the first thing. You have to be aware of the changing industry patterns and what are the technologies in vogue right now. It could be something, including something like libraries in a programming language. So what is it that the industry is looking at? Secondly, what is it that you have actually done with these technologies? Because in an interview, nobody is going to ask you a definition of a programming language. Nobody is going to ask you for a syntax of a certain command, right? They're going to give you a problem and ask you to solve it. Are going to give you a code and ask you to execute it. So those are the kind of things that they'll ask you in the technical rounds. So have you got enough practice? Right? It's not like you simply sit in front of your laptop and watch somebody solving a problem on the board and you expect to go and solve the same problem in the interview. It doesn't happen that way. So a lot of rigor and practical practice is needed. Then how do you present what you have learned? Right? So do you have a project portfolio? Do you have, how many projects have you worked on? Have you independently worked on Kaggle data sets, or have you participated in hackathons? So the more you can show, even on LinkedIn, they do a lot of profiling on social media also, the kind of activities they do. Are you really passionate enough? Do you follow a lot of people on LinkedIn or other platforms who are into these kind of fields? So all these are factors that will give people an edge to get that that kind of expertise, to crack that job we're talking. It's not just about, I can't tell one aspect and say you do this. It's not a one formula that applies to everybody. It's a multi-stage process. So all this bundled into one person is what the companies look for.
So Shruti, so far we have discussed all things, and I would like to end up this session with one final question, and I think most controversial question. Time to time everyone has talked about it, and recently you might have heard about new thing which came into picture, chat GPT, right, which is doing everything. You just need to give a command and it will do it everything for you. And that is the point where question raises like AI will take over our jobs. So my question to you is like, it's a fact or just a chaos? Because my personal opinion is no, this is not going to happen. But since you are expert, you have been observing the industry as well, I would like to hear it from you as well.
Right. I think this discussion started in the 1700s when the Industrial Revolution started, right? Even then, people were talking about, will machines take over our jobs? And then people said, will robots take over our jobs? And now we are talking about, will AI take over our jobs? But did we lose our jobs? No, right? We didn't lose our jobs. So AI will not take away jobs. It will probably transform jobs, right? You see different terminologies. So people were talking about big data. Now people are talking about small data. You must have heard, a lot of discussions going on small data. People were talking about ML. Now there's a variation. It's called tiny ML. People are talking about data democratization that will in turn bring a lot of changes in the way data is handled. So these are all evolving things, right? You can't that's why they say learning doesn't end when you finish your graduation. It actually starts when you finish, because that's when you have to learn continuously. So there will be definitely transformation in technology. There will be evolution in technology. The only people who will lose jobs are the ones who will not upskill themselves and who will not learn continuously. So if you belong to that category, then yes, AI will take over your job. But if you are a kind of person who will continuously upskill yourself and keep in touch with what the industry wants, then you will definitely have your job. So I don't think AI is a threat to your job. Not upskilling yourself on a regular basis can definitely be a threat. So you got to be on your toes and keep moving forward.
Thank you so much, Shruti, to join me in this conversation and to help the viewers to know more about the future of data science and data jobs in 2023. I hope this will be an eye-opener and it will help them to understand the broader picture of it, and they can also plan it properly how they should move forward in 2023. So thank you so much, and if you have anything
Sure,
anything you want to know from Shruti, feel free to put your question in the comment section. We will be answering it. And also do check out the upcoming boot camps from the Odin School. Link will be in the description.
Sure. On behalf of Odin School, the entire family of Odin School, I wish all your viewers and all your subscribers a very happy new year. Have a great year ahead, and the mantra is upskilling, so keep at it.
So that's what I had for you guys in this podcast. I'm pretty sure you would have enjoyed the first podcast of 2023, and if you find it informative, then as always feel free to hit the like button so that it can reach to maximum number of people. And also if you are new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button and press the notification icon. I will see you guys in the next week with another amazing podcast. Till then, just keep exploring data.